For our audience, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sade Kelly. I'm a time management coach who specializes in helping overwhelmed, highly ambitious people manage their time so that they can achieve their goals while having work-life balance.
Awesome. Brief, succinct. That's what we're looking for. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Oh, that's a story. But I'll break it down.
Thank you.
So essentially, I was working 9 to 5, and I was an advertiser. And I was working on huge brand campaigns and doing project management. And while I was doing all of that, I had 3 side businesses because I was not fulfilled in my creative endeavors, and I wanted to do my own thing.
So you had a 9 to 5 and
3 businesses.
Wow.
3. I did e-commerce. I had a blog. I hosted events. So I figured out how to make it all work while still maintaining a household, like all those things. And everyone kept asking me, how do you make the time to do all those things? Like, how are you able to manage all those things? And in my head ran like a schedule. And it was second nature because it was all I did at work. And it was just how I lived. And then I started thinking, okay, maybe if that's a problem, I can help people with that through my own solution. So I went on Instagram. I already had a good audience because I was a blogger and an influencer. So like I kind of had like thousands of people anyway.
Oh, wow. So
I was like, let me go with my story. And I was like, hey, y'all. If you want a free time management session, here's where you can book. We'll talk about your challenges. I'll give you some solutions completely free. I had like 10 people book that day. Ended up like being able to charge thousands because you can charge a little high ticket.
Get out of here.
I tested it out. I just tested out prices just because I mapped out how much money I needed to make to leave my job. So I said, if I have 10 people interested, I need to make this amount to leave my job. Let me just price it at that. And a lot of people don't think about their pricing that way, but I did. And then in 5 months, I was able to go full time with coaching.
Get out.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So in your line of work, I mean, it kind of is obvious, but could talk to our audience about what it takes to be successful in your field.
In my field?
Yeah.
What do you mean by like a coach, like in the coaching field? Or like
what you do, what does it take to be successful? What are the characteristics somebody has to imbue in order to take off in what you do?
So if someone wanted to also be a coach, okay, got you. I'm always thinking time manager wise. Okay, so if someone else wanted to be a coach, first thing I would say is you have to get clear on your strengths. So you might not even be aware of your strengths, so you may need to invest and work with somebody else who can kind of help see from the outside in. Now, how I figured out my strengths is listening to what people would say about me all the time. So people would say like, you're so organized, you're able to do everything, you're a boss, babe, blah, 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 blah. And since I would hear that all the time, that's how I figured out like that's my strengths. And I actually went and asked people, like I asked like him, I asked all my friends, literally like, what do you think I'm good at? And then after I got all the answers, I started tying together, you know, what I'm good at and figuring that out. So if you're not aware of what you're good at and you want to be a coach, you want to help people, start by like figuring out what the heck you're good at, and that makes you super unique because there is something. And then from there, you got to work on your mindset. You got to work on your beliefs, and then you can start making up, you know, how you're going to do your business. But I think it comes from like mindset and belief in yourself before anything else, because if I didn't have the guts to go on Instagram and be like, hey, I'll do this session for free and not caring what other people would think of me, because this is something I never talked about on Instagram. So I was taking, you know, a vulnerable step. But if I didn't have the confidence to do that, I don't think I would be successful in coaching. And people don't realize that business owning is not, it's glamorized online, but there's a grueling part to it that if you don't like actually work on your mindset and work on your confidence and like work on your mental health and all those things, you won't last. That's why they say like most businesses don't last past 3 years.
Well, I mean, you should be used to it. You started off with a 9 to 5 and you did like 3 background jobs. So how long have you been doing this coaching? And
that's a good question too. So I feel like I've been coaching my whole life because I've always been like the friend who you go to for advice, or when you have a challenge, basically they come up with a solution. I'm just like naturally a solver. So anytime I see a problem, that's like what I've done. So to me, I've been coaching my entire life, but professionally, I've been doing this coaching since April of 2020 is when I decided, all right, time management coaching is where I'm going to go. But I had multiple businesses before that, but this is when I went full on with that.
And how has your business so far made a positive impact in the community?
Ooh, that's good. So my impact is really just helping people make the time to do the things that matter to them. And it sounds like something that's so simple, but in actuality it's really hard, because many of us are trained to just work, and we don't think about what we actually want. We don't spend the time to do what we want. And a lot of people think, oh, time management is just a schedule. I need to figure out when I'm going to do my work. And they don't think about, like, if you can figure out when you're going to actually do your work and responsibilities, you have way more time to do whatever the heck you want. Like, you'll be able to go on those vacations. You'll be able to, like, spend half your night doing nothing. Like, most of my nights, actually, I'm on Netflix, right? Like, I'm literally watching TV because I got most of my responsibilities done, and I'm narrowed it down to my top priorities where I don't feel guilty for taking a break because I know how important it is. So my impact has been eye-opening for a lot of people because they never thought about the concept of time in the way that I teach. And I don't think, I follow so many like scholars in this area, and I felt like there was just so many white men talking about the same thing with habits, and I was like, I want to debunk all of that and come from like a cultural black woman's perspective.
Right. Well, that's really positive. Well.
Thank you.
Last but not least, it's 2022. You started at 2020.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 2027?
That is 5 years. So I have a thing with the whole 5-year plan, right?
First one to contend the 5-year plan. Okay.
I'm usually the one who goes against normal-ish things because I don't think like that. So I used to always want to know what I was going to be in doing 5 years from now. Like, that was how I operated. I went to college, I got the great job, like I did everything I was supposed to do. And then I realized when you open your mind up to just possibilities, you shouldn't really know where you're going to be in 5 years. So when you ask me that, I'm not sure where I'm going to be, but I know next year where I'm going to be, and when I get there next year, then I'll figure out what I'm going to do the following, right?
I find it very ironic that the time management person can't give me the 5-year time plan.
Yeah, because I think sometimes those plans can stifle us, and I want to be open to the possibilities. But if I had to answer generally,
No. You don't have to.
Okay.
You said next year, so tell me where you be next year.
So next year, I want to be making multiple 6 figures in my business. I wanted to be doing more speaking events like this. I want to be also hosting my own events again. That was something I stopped doing in the pandemic, and now being here, I'm like, oh, we outside again. So like maybe I should start doing that again. I also see myself like personal wise, like I recently got married, so like I see us popping out some babies next year.
No pressure. No pressure.
And also, like, I really want to like get into real estate investing. So I was, watching that here, and I want to get my own home. Like, that's where I see my life going, where I'm able to have this coaching business, but I've hired a team who's kind of doing most of it for me. I can kind of sit back from the coaching and more so be like the brand and be doing more things personally.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much. That's the end. Please share your Twitter handle, your social media, all that good stuff for our audience.
Okay, so my Instagram is Sade Kelly _ That's SADE Kelly _ I'm pretty sure that's my handle on everything: Twitter, TikTok. Right? I'm looking at him like, is that true? Yeah. And then my website is thefireinsidesade.com.
All right. Thank you very much, Sade.
Thank you.